Welcome back to Runeverse. I'm Andrew, and today I'm gonna show you a game I made for my wedding, which was last week, which is why this is my first video in a few weeks. There's a lot to do leading up to it, and a lot of stuff to do afterward, including just recovering. But anyway, so I put together a game to get people to play at my wedding reception, and it was chaotic. Not everybody is a gamer. A lot of people, maybe English wasn't their first language. And even though I had tried to make the game as easy as possible, teaching a room of 140 people the game at the same time is not super easy. But if I had to choose between not doing it or doing it the exact same way, I would do it again because I love games. I like making games, and I'm happy that I got to share it with people at my wedding, even if it didn't go over with everyone super well. Although some people did get into it. So I appreciate that some people really tried to play, some people really did play, and some people even cheated in order to get the best possible score they could, which, even though that's not in the intention of the game, it was pretty cool to see people be interested in that enough to do so. So anyway, let's just show you that. Obviously, this is the card back right there. This is a commission I got done, I want to say a couple years ago, and I searched just before starting recording, but I can't find who the artist is. I wish I could credit her, but it's somebody on Twitter. I happened to see that she was making these cute chibi commissions, and I went ahead and did it. And I thought it'd make the perfect card back for this one-off wedding game. I'm gonna go ahead and show you how the game works. Everybody got one of these black bags, and each black bag contains 12 cards. 10 of them have that yellow back, and then 2 of them have a different colored back. There's a blue and a purple. The purple card is an Andrew card, and the blue one is a Tiffany card, and they match up. There's also a score sheet included. Not super necessary, but I thought it might be helpful for anyone who wanted some assistance scoring up their cards at the end. So all of the Tiffany cards and Andrew cards have the same artwork, so they always pair up, but there are 4 different variants. This is the fancy Tiffany card that scores extra points based on shoes. This is a Game Night Andrew, which scores for having pizza, cookies, and a board game. And those cards are drafted from the other cards. So basically, out of these 10 yellow cards, you will pick one of these to keep and pass the rest. All of these cards artwork was done with an AI generator, because these are AI generated images. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had pictures, or I probably wouldn't have been able to get the game done in time. I know there's controversy regarding using AI to create pictures for various media, so I'm in general in favor of artists getting paid for their work, but hopefully people will forgive me for doing this as a one-time thing for my wedding. I did do some post-production, so these are the same image. I just color changed them so there'd be a blue candle and a purple candle and a few other details. I did very minimal design, but let's see. If I were actually playing the game, I would look at my Andrew and my Tiffany card. I would see that I want to collect pairs of shoes. Pizza and cookies and board games are good, and otherwise I'm just going to look and see. Every pack does have a foil card. The foiling doesn't affect the points or anything. So it's just 2 points for comic books. Got some candles. This is blue and this is purple. These are also household items, but none of that matters for the particular version of Tiffany and Andrew that I got. And I'm not seeing shoes. Oh, there is one shoe. Pair of white shoes is 4 points, so by itself it's nothing. But if I get pair of white shoes, specifically, this would be 8 points, and that would be doubled because of my Tiffany. So that might be very good. Otherwise, I could pick up cookies or pizza for Andrew. And the game was intended to be played. The tables were 10 people per table, so you wouldn't get any cards back. But if you know drafting, you know that depending on how many people you're drafting with, you might get cards back. So I might actually play this out. And we're going to play 3 seats. So I'm going to say that I'm going to take the cookie because there's a chance if I see another white shoe, I might grab that on the way back. So for our main seat here, I'm going to choose to draft a cookie, and the rest of the cards would be passed to the person on the left. There are commons, uncommons, and rares. The cookie is actually an uncommon. The dice is our rare. Well, may as well look up close here. This is worth 1d6 points. So at the end of the game, we would roll dice to see how many points that is going to be worth, and it lets you re-roll each of your die rolls during scoring. This is actually the most complicated card in the game, but I thought it'd be fun. But I'm going to stick with the cookie for now, try to get these 15 points and pass the rest to player 2. And I think I'll play player 2's pack blindly so you don't see what they're thinking. They've made their selection. They'll pass the rest to seat 3, whose pack I'll also do blindly. All right, so that's their choice. They'll pass the rest. And actually, that'll be our next pack that we can look through. So we're looking for shoes, board game, and pizza. Let's see what seat 3 passed to us. There is a shoe here, but no pizza and no board game. Sushi's worth 2 points and boba tea's worth 3, but doubling my points for shoes is probably better. So I'm going to take the shoe and pass the rest here. Make these picks blindly. I'm saying blindly. I'm just not going to show you. All right, so I made those picks. Go ahead and go to pick 3, and there's actually another shoe, so we can get our pair of shoes. And since this is the third pick, now we know there are actually no board games in the draft. So there's only 3 seats, and there's actually 3 different board game cards. There's a common, an uncommon, and a rare. But we're definitely, even if we get that pizza back, we're not going to be getting a board game. So we have to give up on Game Night Andrew, unfortunately, and just pick as many shoes as we can get and as many just high point cards other than that. Pick 4. This is the pack we opened. There's another white shoe. I don't think there were any more shoes, though. I think we took the shoe out of every pack, which means taking a shoe would be a waste. And this is where it gets extremely simple, and I was hoping it wouldn't be too hard for people, but all these cards just say how many points they are. Just take the one with more points. It's simple enough, although you do have to process making choices based on this. Although I did a sample game with some family before the wedding, and 2 little kids were able to play just by picking the card they liked, which should mean the game can function for anyone. All you have to do is pick a card for any reason. So since I know the game, I know my best pick is, unless I'm wrong, maybe if there is another shoe, I definitely want this one. But I don't think there is, which means I just want one of these 2-point cards. The foil one is tempting me, but I know that this one is better for potentially for other people because it is a food and a Vietnamese food, which can make it pretty valuable for other combos. So I'll take that, pass on to seat 2 and seat 3. Puts it back to us. Yeah, no shoe here, so we'll just take a 2-point bowl. Actually, we already hate drafted 1 food, so maybe we'll hate draft a blue item. So there's a favorite color Tiffany, who scores extra points for every blue thing you get. And there is a favorite color Andrew, who scores extra points for every purple color card you get, which is why these cards have purple and blue tags. So I'll take the 2-point card that is a color and pass those to seat 2 and 3 back to us. And yeah, there was no other shoe, or if there was, we weren't going to get it. So again, may as well just stick with the most points. We've got comic books, sunflower, and TV. The only one with an icon is the TV, so we'll take that one and pass. And pass. And now we have the shoe again, but yeah, we know this is a totally lonely shoe worth nothing by itself. So we'll take these comic books, which also came back, and pass, and pass. And now they're all just 1 point. We'll take the one that is blue and purple, I suppose. And pass, pass. Now we just have our choice of candles. Doesn't matter, pass. Candles are all going last, but they can be valuable. Here we get stuck with the white shoe anyway. And these seats can pick their cards. And let's go ahead and score. So we got the white shoe. Each pair of shoes is worth 4 points. We'll go ahead and pair that. We don't have another white shoe at all. So this is going to be worth nothing. We've got a candle. This is where we could start using the score sheet if we wanted to. But so it's going to be 1 point. Tie-dye shirt is 1 more for 2. Comic books is 2 more for 4. TV is 2 more for 6. Bike is 2 more for 8. The banh mi is 2 more for 10. Cookies is 2 more for 12. A pair of black shoes is worth 6 points, so that's 18. But we have Fancy Tiffany, who doubles our points for shoes. We only got 1 pair, so that's 6 more, 24 points. Also, our Game Night Andrew doesn't score anything because we don't have all 3. So that's 24 points, for our seat. And that would be it. You'd compare your points to the other seats. So let's go ahead and see what other people got. So this one has Hungry Tiffany, which is 2 points for each food item you have and plus 2 points more for every Viet food. And then they also got a Game Night Andrew. Spoilers, they also did not complete their game night. It's actually a foil one. Every card appears in foil. They got the pizza, but no cookies or board game. However, this is a food, which means Hungry Tiffany will eat that for 2 more points. So it's actually 3 points. Rice is 4, except it is a food and a Viet food, so that's +4, up to 8. Sushi bowl is 2 more, it's 10, plus 2 more because it's food for Hungry Tiffany. It's 12 points. Rice, 13 plus 4 is 17. Another sushi bowl, 19 plus 2 is 21. Sunflower makes 23, 24, 25, 26. And they got a rare as their first pick, which is a cat, for 2d6 points, which clearly says roll 2 6-sided dice. So I kind of lost track. I should have been using that scorecard, but I think we're at 26, and we're just going to roll 2 dice. And we got 9 points. That's a hefty cat. So is that 35? Points for seat 2 is definitely winning. The cat plus the Hungry Tiffany paid off. And finally, seat 3, who got started with a Sleepy Tiffany. When scoring, choose either coffee or couch, and either get +4 more points for every coffee you got, or 6 more points for every couch. You got to choose. You want to take a nap or wake up. So here is a couch. That's 2 points, and they are not going to be choosing couch because they got a lot more coffees. So we're not going to add anything, but for every coffee we get after this, it's going to be +4 more. So 2, boba tea makes 5. Coffee is 1 plus the 4. That's 5 more is 10, 15, 20 points, 22, 23, 24. And they actually got 3 dice rolling cards. They got the lucky dice. They're going to roll 1 die, a +1 point for board game, but there are no board games in this draft. And they get to re-roll all of their dice. They got Silly Andrew, which is going to give them 3 dice to roll, and a toilet, which gives 10 points minus a d6. So they're actually at 34 points. Minus a d6 for the toilet is 3. They can re-roll that because of the lucky dice, but I think they'll keep a -3 because it could get worse. So they're down to 31, and that's the toilet scored, plus all these. And then they can roll 1 die for the lucky dice. 31 plus 6, that's 37. No need to re-roll that. And then Silly Andrew is plus 3d6. 37. Keep this for sure. 43. Keep the 4. 47, and re-roll this one. 49. So seat 3 actually wins with some nice dice rolls, highly caffeinated Sleepy Tiffany, and that would be the game. So it's a pretty simple drafting game. It's inspired by a game called Sushi Go or Sushi Go Party, but I even made it easier than that. Made the cards themed around things that Tiffany or I or we both like, with the exception of a tie-dye shirt, which I included just because it's blue and purple. Not that we have anything against tie-dye shirts, but neither of us owns any. Definitely a lot of luck involved. There were no board games here, and 2 people needed board games. It's also only 1 cookies and only 1 pizza, but that's why it pays out 15 points if you manage to get all 3. And with 10 people at the table, there's no picking twice from the same pack. It's purely effectively random of what comes next. And I thought it'd be interesting because in a room full of people who maybe don't understand games that well, people might be able to get sneaky, powerful picks. Powerful cards like cat might go late if people don't realize how strong rolling 2d6 can be, or trying to combo a cat with the lucky dice, for example. So as a retrospective, I think there are 2 main things I would change. First of all, I didn't properly pass out the dice. Everything was kind of chaotic during the reception, and people started asking, well, I don't have any dice, this or that. I forgot to pass them out. So I had to kind of scramble and try to get dice to people who were still interested in trying to score their cards. The main second thing was I was a bit ambitious, planning to teach everyone how to play with the microphone in the middle of the room, but everyone's talking, people were still eating. A lot of people weren't really interested in playing the game. We did have a prize for the winner. We had $100 to give out, which is a lot to some people and nothing to other people. And a lot of people weren't interested. So it's very ambitious to try to teach the game in a crowded room, as simple as it was. People did not pick it up immediately. And I should have had rules. So I think if I could go back, I would add a rule sheet to every table. So at the very least, if people did want to play, the people who were really interested didn't have to try to find me. There would just be a rule sheet. Obviously, a lot of people would have chosen not to play, would have not read it. But people who were really interested could have had that option to read the rules. Rules would have been pretty brief. Pick a card, pass the rest, take from your right, score up at the end. Ultimately, I think a wedding reception is not the best place to try to make everyone play a complicated new board game. Not that it's actually that complicated, but it is complicated to people who maybe haven't even really played poker before, for example. But again, it was my wedding. I would still do it the same given the option. And I'm happy that some people really did participate. Like I said, some people played it, some people cheated a bit, some people tried to collect some of the cards afterward, and one person traded for or found the cards he needed to score 120 points, which I didn't think was possible. Extremely impressive. I think it actually involved Fancy Tiffany. There is a rare Rainbow Shoes card, which a pair of Rainbow Shoes would be extremely unlikely to get, but he managed to find 3 or 4 of them. There's a card called Mirror, also a rare, which can be scored as a copy of any of your other cards. So he had a combination of like 3 mirrors and 3 Rainbow Shoes for 3 pairs of shoes. And because of Fancy Tiffany, they were doubled to 30 points. So that's 90 points just from those shoes. And I think he actually used the Game Night Andrew points for his other cards. So very cool that he managed to assemble that contraption of a stack. But anyway, that was my wedding game. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and bye.